The Queen of Granada, by M. Riff. Chapter 93, The Roundabout. She was about to walk away when she turned back, her tone carrying a sense of urgency. "Please, stay there. All the streets and roundabouts around here look the same. It's easy to get lost in this neighborhood, like being in a maze." For some reason, waiting felt much longer than it actually was. After only a couple of minutes, Rita grew impatient and began scanning her surroundings. Hunger gnawed at her stomach, and the potion had only had a temporary effect. She had been famished since Almunkar and had only managed to eat an apple. When the bus teetered on that unfinished bridge, everyone had been silent, gripped by fear. She couldn't bring herself to nibble on another apple. Now, that apple sat in her school bag at Rosen's place. Rita looked around, hoping to spot a kiosk or a grocery store, but none were in sight. Then, in the distance, she spotted an illuminated sign above a shop. It read IZZA, or maybe it was pizza. She couldn't be sure, but her hunger had heightened her sense of smell. The aroma of melted cheese seemed to reach her from afar. Hypnotized by the idea of pizza, she headed toward the sign. With each step, the scent of cheese grew stronger. She realized that it was indeed pizza, and one of the lights had gone out, making it look like IZZA from a distance. As she approached the entrance, the only customer was leaving, carrying a stack of pizza boxes. Finally, she stood in front of the glass counter where numerous pizzas were neatly sliced and displayed. She pointed to 3 different kinds, raising 2 fingers each time. The guy behind the counter placed 6 slices in a cardboard box, forming a circle that looked like a whole pizza. Rita also pointed at the glass cabinet with soft drinks and said in Spanish, "A cola, please." When the guy placed a cola bottle on the counter, Rita thought Rosen might want some pizza too. She added, "A Fanta, please." The guy reached for a bottle opener hanging from his belt, looking at her with a question in his eyes. Rita shook her head and replied in Spanish, "No, thanks." With the pizza and bottles in hand, Rita walked back to the bench, overwhelmed by the irresistible aroma of melted cheese that accompanied her. Once there, she looked around for Rosen, but she was nowhere in sight. Rita sat down, torn between starting to eat or waiting for Rosen. She decided to have just 1 slice and wait. She opened the box and looked inside. She glanced around one more time for Rosen, but she was still absent. Rita made up her mind to eat just 1 piece and save the rest. She savored the first bite, it was heavenly. Surprisingly, the slice disappeared quickly. Rita closed the box and tried to resist the temptation of another piece. As she looked around, she heard the engine of a Renault 4 approaching. The car stopped at the red light before the pedestrian crossing, even though there were no pedestrians or other vehicles around. Rita remembered a Danish couple in a red Renault 4 she had seen in Almunkar and later on the way to Granada. When the light turned green, the car entered the roundabout.